All right, I'd like to start this episode with a quote because you might be able to hear it in my voice. I'm low down and mellow today.
Yeah.
Because I just finished a book called On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. And it was mellow. And so now I'm a mellow guy.
Yeah, that's great. You sound stupid. Have you heard about Coldplay?
Yeah, I did
You heard about this Coldplay
actually.
stuff? They do music just like Hutch.
You know what it is now, boys and girls of the podcast world. Matt and Tyler on the mics. They're gonna stay here until they agree. They're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Hey, Rat Pack. Surprise editor Matt here, fresh off the Hutch sound. Thanks again, Hutch, for that great music. You're going to hear some popping out of Tyler's microphone to start this episode. It goes away, but I hate it just as much as you do. But just try to stick with us, and it'll get better, and we'll try to get it fixed for next week. We appreciate it. Thanks, Rat Pack.
To be gorgeous, even from the day you're born to the day you die, is to be gorgeous only briefly. And that's a quote from Ocean Vuong in hit book, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous.
Now, can you tell me what about that quote? I get the quote. What about that makes you feel mellow, though?
Oh, it was the rest of the book, I'd say. 240 other pages.
Just all the other words.
That quote was a mere sentence, and there were a lot more of those. And it was kind of sad, but not really that sad. I mean, okay, let me put you on to sadness. It was definitely sad. If you read it, you'd probably be sad. Mm-hmm. But I've shielded myself from words because those are just words on a page, and I am me living a completely different life than the Vietnamese boy in this book.
Sure. And so one thing that you mentioned that I really love about books and I love about storytelling in general is when you have sentences and you get more sentences. And that's awesome. And something that I think maybe that is probably pretty similar, Happy Gilmore 2, they feels like we're having similar vibes. Two pieces of media that were created this weekend that were just huge hits, it sounds like.
I will say two similar vibes that you and I have gotten from the movie. Two very different ratings on Letterboxd is what I noticed. I saw you put a 4.5 star on Letterboxd for that movie, and I was a bit shocked.
And why?
Okay, like I get what you're going for. I think we have to accept it. We use Letterboxd very differently.
I use it because I love movies, and you use it because you love to hate things. Yeah.
No. You love rating based on enjoyment. Enjoyment isn't critical acclaim. I'm more of a critic in my in the way that my acclaim gets processed is through critique and being critical of the films. I call them films, you call them movies.
And I guess that's maybe why you relate to that. What it sounds like a sad Vietnamese boy from that book is because you naturally like to be sad first. And that's kind of what I'm getting is you want to find the darkness before you find the dawn. And I want to live in sunrise.
You're not hearing me.
Unfortunately, I hear you, and that's the worst
part
of my day.
Maybe you're hearing me, but you're not listening. Because
potentially,
here's the thing. I enjoyed Happy Gilmore 2. I'm not going to give it a high rating because you saw my rating, right? Did you see it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said it was fun. You said it was really fun.
It was very fun, but listen, you can't just give it a high rating. Because, but no, you can't just give it a high rating because you enjoyed it. Because it was so many cameos, and that was fun. Seeing all the people in it was fun, but it doesn't make it a good movie. Like,
but I don't. But think about it like this: a 4.5 out of 5 stars equals a 90% success rating for me. And so you can't look me in the eye and tell me that movie was not 90% better than what you thought it would be, right? If you come into every movie thinking it's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen, and it exceeds by 90% of that, that's a 4.5 out of 5. And that's actual math. So I don't know why you're saying no to that.
Here's what I'll say. I came into it, I enjoyed it because it was fun. But what I didn't enjoy was the format of the movie was too modern for, and I know that it's a movie that is modern.
It's a movie that came out in 2025 and it's 2025, yeah. So
I missed the format of Happy Gilmore. And that format didn't reprise its role. Every other
Here's
character
the
got a
thing.
reprised role in some sort of cameo form, but this didn't get a reprised role somehow.
Dude, let me bring you back to 1996 when that movie came out. Happy Gilmore makes like 5 hole-in-ones in that movie on a par 4. That hasn't happened on the PGA Tour since like 1999 or something. And then so like to think that like this movie just is like that the old Happy Gilmore is like just indulged in just realism and that's what made it a great movie. It was always
I'm not
ridiculous.
looking for realism.
And it came back,
I'm not looking for
and it
realism.
came back into
I'm talking
modern,
about the editing. I'm
modern
talking about
zaniness.
I'm talking about the editing, the style. It was just,
Bro, it was the exact.
bro.
It
1996
had better
Happy
cameras.
Gilmore would not have had the classic. Oh, look, this is also a Flask bit.
Bro, I hate to break it to you, it definitely would have.
No, 1996 Happy Gilmore never would have done that. It wouldn't have needed to.
Yes. Oh, yes, it would have.
You know what? It also
Yes,
wouldn't
would
have had
And if
Kelsey
if
Plume and
thought about
Margaret
it,
Qualley dancing in a shack.
Bro, if you think I know a single one of those names you just said, you're out of your mind.
Kelsey Plume, WNBA, Margaret Qualley,
Okay, I know
from
Kelsey.
The Substance,
I know. Yeah, okay.
And every other movie
The Substance is like
of all time.
is a pretty critically acclaimed movie, I'm pretty sure. So that's actually probably a pretty big get.
I
Gilmore
was surprised
too.
when I saw her, but no, it doesn't. Like that scene would not have been in Happy Gilmore 1.
You know that his golf coach in Happy Gilmore 1 is eaten by an alligator at a putt-putt course. You recall
I'm
that,
not.
right?
It's
He has
not the
he has a wooden
story.
hand, and
It's
he
not
got
the
eaten,
story
and
I'm
then-
concerned about.
And then
it's not the
and then he
story I'm
wins,
concerned
and then-
about. I
and
like
Shooter
the
McGavin
story.
at the end of
I
it,
like
he
the
wins.
story.
He wins the tour championship
I know
because
what
he's good at
happened. I know
putt
what
putt. Because a TV tower
remember.
falls on the green and they say there's no time. There's actually no time to clean up the TV tower. That's what Shooter McGavin says, and they all just listen.
And
That's
the
how
golfer,
like,
the golfer
act like it's not
cameos
ridiculous.
too. Like Will Zalatoris is the only one that deserved to be there.
Bro,
I love Rory
why do you
McIlroy.
hate fun? Why do you hate fun,
I love
bro?
Rory McIlroy. That guy cannot act. Everybody else was serviceable.
Bro.
Everybody else was serviceable.
Let me put
Rory
you on that- yeah,
McIlroy
that's true.
was
But
by far
they
the
didn't give
worst.
him. They didn't really give him lines though. They didn't
That's
really give
because
him
they
lines.
probably
give Brooks
did.
Koepka
They
lines
probably
'cause he
did,
doesn't-
being the most famous golfer.
probably cut him.
And then they said, "Oh, this guy, he can't act. He has one mode, and it's full Northern Ireland."
Yeah, so it was fun though. That's
It
all
was
I'm
fun.
saying.
I'm
And
not-
If
I'm not-
If I was 90% enjoying it, then that's a 4.5 out of 5
All right,
stars.
one critique.
Who
Give it one
cares?
critique then.
It's not as cinematic as The Parasite. The
What's
Parasite.
The
Is that
Parasite?
what the movie's called? It's Oscar-winning movie Parasite that it got a 3.5 out of 5 stars from me on Letterboxd. And you even admitted that that movies sometimes we have to remove the veil of what they are. I knew what Parasite was trying to be, and it didn't accomplish what I wanted it to do. Happy Gilmore 2, I knew what it was going to do, and it did it better than I thought it would. They put Scotty Scheffler in jail. Remember when Scotty Scheffler went to jail
I was
in real
there.
life? Real life
I was
imitates art.
there.
Real life
I
imitates
remember.
art.
I was there.
Bro, you shouldn't say that.
What do you mean? I
Okay,
was there.
We have a lot to talk about.
I was
today,
at the
and this was
PGA
not on the
Championship when that
agenda.
happened. I was there.
You have been teasing this High School Musical, the musical series thing. Yeah, I know you were, bro. Great.
Bro, that's
flex,
what I was
man.
working on. That's not
High School
happening this
Musical
episode.
series.
That's a big birthday thing. Okay. Okay,
I've
it's a
been
big
waiting for that
birthday
all
thing.
day, but
It's
fine.
a big birthday thing. I'm just starting my research today. So by next episode, when your birthday is technically past, but that's going to be your birthday episode, all right? Because it's closer.
All right, thanks.
So that
okay, I can live with
that's
that.
when that's going to happen. And I could tell
So it
the
sounds
audience
like-
what it's
sounds
going
like
to be.
Daddy
I
Matt-
can tell the audience what it's going to be, but I have to mute you.
That's fine. No, that's not the same thing because I edit it. So
No.
I'll
I'm
just
going
know
to mute
immediately
you, and
anyways.
I'm going to tell the audience what it's going to be.
Okay, but I edit it. So
I'm not telling Matt. He's going to listen to this thinking he's about to figure it out, and this guy's a clown.
Okay, fine. Editor Matt here. I listened to it and I fell for it, but at least my microphone doesn't sound just so stupid. Editor Matt here one more time. Yeah, this microphone sounds stupid. I get that, but my real microphone that you're listening to in the podcast Until We Agree with Matt and Tyler sounds good, and I'm going to stand by that. This one I understand is bad. It is a 2009, I believe, Apple iPhone plug-in wired AirPod, so you get that. Anyways, back to the show.
I can't hear him, but I know it's stupid.
All right. And now the audience knows.
That's great, man. And I'm gonna
Don't
find
listen to
out.
that part. No, do
45
not listen to
minutes.
that part. Just skip
Bro.
that part.
Whatever. Okay. So sounds like Daddy Matt has to carry another episode. Welcome back to Until We Agree, by the way. This is Matt from Until We Drink.
Yeah, more like Granddaddy Matt, because in
Dude,
4
whatever.
days you're going to be, how
Don't
old are you
even
gonna be?
say it.
29?
19. First of all, not even true. Not gonna be 29. How dare you? If anything, I'm turning 22.
It's your
and I'm
leap
definitely
year.
not turning 29. Bro, Welcome back to Until We Agree. This is Matt, joined as always by... Welcome back to Until We Agree. This is Matt, joined as always with Tyler from Until We Agree. I have a lot to talk about today. The first thing, if you look at the agenda, I kind of think of things throughout the week I want to talk about on the pod with you, and then I write them down and then I come back to them. And I have this bad
thing
habit.
I wrote down didn't make the cut, I guess.
What did you write down? I don't.
Raccoon suicide?
You're right. Okay, we can go to that in a second. I just need to get this one thing off my chest because
okay.
Throughout the week, I write stuff down. I text myself, and then I go back and review my texts to talk about everything I want to talk about. Today, I make them too vague, and I know I do that for no reason, truly, just other than to challenge myself. And so this first one, if you look at it, I said boy band, but with a girl, and
yes.
and for the life of me, I can't remember what I meant by that. And I wonder.
And I'm supposed to.
Not even. I've just been racking my brain trying to remember why I wrote that down. I wanted to maybe start a dialogue with you to figure out, find the path that I was going down. I think my first thought was, I was thinking of, I saw like a Justin, is Justin Timberlake, was he in Sync? Was that the one? Or Backstreet Boys?
He was not in Backstreet Boys, in Sync.
Okay, so I saw like a video from like 2000 or 1999 of the Backstreet Boys singing the national anthem at a Yankees game. Not
Backstreet
relevant,
Boys are in
totally.
Sync.
Did I say back?
You did say Backstreet Boys.
Justin Timberlake was there, and so was Joey Fatone from the Impractical Jokers.
Okay.
So I was watching that video, and I was like thinking about boy bands, and because boy band is very different than a band that's just composed of boys. And then so I was thinking, what if you've never seen this before, and I find that somewhat strange. You've never seen a boy band. You've seen girl bands. You've seen boy bands. You've never seen a boy band with like one girl in it, but like they're like a boy band setup. Does that make sense? It's
I
not
hate
like they're
to
in
tell
a
you,
band
I think that's a
necessarily,
thing, but we just don't call it that. Have you heard of the pentatonics? Let me put you under the pentatonics.
And that might be the only example. And they're goofy music.
What do you mean they're goofy music?
Are you familiar with like Disney, like Disney World, like Goofy the funny dog?
Yeah, like when he sings "Wake Me Up," like Evanescence.
Yeah, they make music kind of like that, and so we don't necessarily call them that. And they're an a cappella band. They're still not a boy band, or they're not like a mixed gender boy or girl band. But like, you know what I'm talking about? Like where the band,
that one guy beatboxes and plays the cello.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Okay, so you're talking about the pentatonics. I'm talking about like if One Direction had one girl in it. Is it okay. Like what then does that become? Because like the musicians, in the sense like the instrumental musicians, are like way back behind the scenes in a band like that, and then you just have like 4 to 5 people who are just composed as the frontmen. Okay, One Direction's British, so good try.
No. I'm saying your thought process.
What do you?
We're just getting too caught up on gender these days. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you're okay. I don't want to. That's it. What was the raccoon suicide thing?
Okay,
that was just a thought.
I've been dying to talk about this, but you've been trying to say something about boy girl bands instead of just accepting that things are the way they are.
I'm just saying it was just an observation. You don't see that often, anyways.
You don't see it at all, and it's probably because it doesn't work.
What does that have to do with raccoon suicide? I thought we were on raccoon suicide now.
I was climbing Friday night, as I do. It got late because it's Friday night and it was after work. We are at a place, the wall's about 40 feet tall at the highest point probably, and it got dark, and, you know, we were starting to hear...
One question.
Yes?
How tall is it at its shortest?
Shortest? There might be a section that's 25, 30 feet.
What about 0 feet? Because that's where it starts.
Sure. If you're talking about just the ground, then sure. Anyways, we were climbing, and we started to hear...
I have one more question.
Nope. No. Until
I'm
the
getting
end.
bored.
We started to hear animal noises. We heard this loud screech that apparently did you know we have mountain lions out here, apparently? Which
I don't live there, so no.
I gotta say,
there's
no
out
mountains.
Here, what do you mean by that?
Austin, Texas, where there's no mountains, by the way.
Out here is there for
me. There's no mountains, by the
me.
way. There's no mountains.
Okay.
So I don't know where
they're like
plains
lions.
It's not even the plains. We were kind of in like a wooded area.
A deciduous forest lion.
I mean, sure. Okay, anyways, that's not really important. We started hearing animal noises, right? Then, as we're climbing, we hear a thud over to our left. And I'm like, oh, what? That was weird. We just thought a rock fell from the top, because occasionally rocks fall, right? Rocks just fall.
Yeah, it's a normal
gravity.
Thought. Totally normal.
So
I'm allowing it.
Later, because our stuff was on the other side of that thud. I go to get my harness. I walk over there and I just see a raccoon laying on the rocks, and I look at it. I was like, it's asleep, and then I realized that was the thud. So I walk back, tell everybody, hey guys, there's a raccoon over there. And we come to learn that the thud was a raccoon that either jumped or was chased or fell off the side of this cliff. Sorry, that's if it's grotesque. There was a little blood. But
No.
yeah, we're wondering the cause of this. I'm calling it a raccoon suicide because I don't know what else to call it. The guy seemed to have had enough of the Austin life.
You'd have to think the cause is blunt force trauma for sure.
I don't think you know what that means.
Maybe I don't. Is that not just when you get hit really hard?
Well, I think that's when you get hit really hard, but he hit something really hard.
Sure.
Being the
okay,
ground.
that's a good point. If I'm being honest, I thought raccoons were a no terminal velocity kind of animal, so that's actually surprising to me.
Well, I can confirm I've ran a scientific experiment, and I can confirm that's incorrect. They definitely this one reached terminal velocity in approximately 40 feet.
Dude, that's tough, man. You know, my frog did that actually. I
You
had
had
a
a
pet frog
frog?
growing up. I had a pet frog growing up, and we went on vacation once. And I came back and I was so excited to see my boy Swimmy, because Swimmy was a swimming frog. He didn't actually live out of the water, which I know is kind of weird, but he was a frog that lived under the water. And I went up to the fish tank that he was living in, or maybe a frog tank for him, and he wasn't in there, which is substandard because he had never once left that tank in the 5 years I had him. He lived for a long time. And I think that was maybe part of the reason he went down this path that he went down, this dark path, is I think he had outlived his expected lifespan by, I think, 3 years.
Wow.
And I think his body was just sick and tired of it. And he decided to take it into his own hands. He jumped out of the little slit. It had the tank had a full lid except for like one little slit where the water filter was. He jumped out onto the bathroom counter, onto the floor of the bathroom, and then we had you never went to the house I lived in growing up. But it had a big like you could jump like there was like an overhang from the second floor to the first floor, probably, I don't know, 18 feet. And we came home, and apparently I walked by him the first time I went up the stairs because I was so excited to see my boy Swimmy, and wasn't in there. Then I went back downstairs to tell my parents that I couldn't find Swimmy, wasn't in the tank. And then as I round the corner again, there's his broken, lifeless body at the bottom of the hardwood.
Do you think he was trying to do that, or do you think he was simply yearning for air?
The problem is, maybe he had, I don't know. I think he realized he made a big mistake when he jumped out of the tank, and there was no way to get back in the tank. They're slippery from the outside, and he couldn't climb. So I think he was maybe just trying to maybe stumble into some more water somewhere in the great big world he had never seen before. And it just didn't happen for him. So I see where you're coming from. I know you probably had an emotional response when you saw that.
Well, actually, it made sense because I had put a picture of you right there, and you know how raccoons hunt for trash.
I hate that I exhaled on that because I don't like that I had to laugh at that because that was mostly hurtful.
Yep.
But kind of funny.
But anyway, that's raccoon suicide for you. Hopefully, there's not another one
for you, man.
Because I mean, the populations they can't be enormous because I don't see them out here.
You got to think it's dwindling. You got to think they're close to being endangered.
I'll tell you, there was at least one less. There's at least one less than last week.
Yeah, I mean that's the circle of life, though, man. But speaking of the circle of life, this was another thought I had. I would have hated being born like any time before like I was. If you think about it, think of all the luxuries that we get to live in the society that we live in today. I don't know. I was putting in my daily contacts earlier.
Which is embarrassing.
Dailies. Why is that?
Just the fact that you have to use something like that.
It sucks I'm talking to you about this because everyone in the world has bad vision except for you for some reason. So you're actually the exception here. So you're actually, I know that you're seen as like a good thing, but it actually just really isolating for you, and that's sad. Another reason for you to be isolated, which is sad. That's the kind of the theme of today's episode I'm noticing. But think about what were they doing if you had bad eyesight before, I mean, especially before glasses, but like before contacts, that I love contacts. I couldn't imagine having to wear glasses every day. I know people do it, so maybe that's not like a great example, but like think about glasses. I would just, if I was living in like 400 BC, I wouldn't be able to see anything like clearly within outside of 2 feet of the bridge of my nose. Like, how am I supposed to live like that? If I'm supposed to be a hunter gatherer, like what am I supposed to hunt and gather if I can't even see?
Your other senses would obviously be heightened, and you wouldn't. Yeah, let's be honest. Would you be a hunter gatherer?
Yes, you have to. I'm a man. That was the social hierarchy back in the day.
You'd be in the fields. You'd be
whatever.
You'd be doing the grunt work, the non eyesight required work, where you could just kind of feel around for some crops. Maybe you pull on them a little bit. Maybe you move them around. I don't know anything about field work.
Yeah,
but it's probably like that.
And then what about Crohn's disease, dude? I would have been a wreck back then.
Well, you would. I guess the best way to put it is that you would have been.
Put it out there. Yeah. Go and say it. That's fine.
You would have been.
I understand.
It would have been past tense. It would have been past tense.
Sure. We get it. We get it.
And what I'm trying to say,
we get it. Okay, we get it. But yeah, that's just another thought I had. What a luxury we get to live in today. And one day your vision is going to start to regress. That's just how life works. You can't keep it perfect forever. And you're gonna learn to appreciate, wow, I could be blurry right now and I'm not. So one last thought on that. And then can I move on to my next point? I'm popping through points today.
Pop away. Pop. I hold on. I have one more thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you just had me thinking, if I lived in 400 BC and I got food poisoning, I'm just not sure. The stakes are just so high back then, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that I could function day to day, knowing in the back of my mind that at any moment my my FP could just, come alive.
Well,
because that's what's worse.
Work.
That's another thing. Another thing that's worse about food poisoning is it doesn't kill you. It just kind of lingers and it just nags at you for years on end every now and again.
Yeah.
And Crohn's disease it could take you out non-medicated. I would assume. I don't know how it works actually. I haven't done that much research.
It shows. It always shows. I promise.
But FP, for example, you're probably going to recover, but at what cost?
That's food poisoning that's slang for food poisoning, so we don't waste time by talking about food
poisoning.
Well, and
it's just that word is so painful to so many because of the effects.
The victims.
Yeah.
What I think you're missing the point on though is that there is no cure for food poisoning because it doesn't have to be cured. It just leaves your body.
At what cost?
So you're
at what cost though?
Like a little bit of vomit from what I could tell in Miami.
Quite a bit more. Quite a bit more than a little bit. Because
that may be true, but still you were fine.
Quite a bit more than that. And then, I'm fine for now, though. It's always in the back of my mind.
And think about all like the food standards we have now versus today. I bet it was gross back then what you had to put into your body.
Exactly. Now you're starting to see my side. Those glasses or contacts or whatever you wear.
I probably would have gotten plenty of food poisoning too back then. I think that was just the nature of it. Maybe their guts had hardened when they were used to it.
Because I've got food poisoning, but I've never had Crohn's.
Right, and I've never had food poisoning, but I have had Crohn's and continue to have it.
It seems that we've proven that theory.
So the evidence does support that. Is that all you had to say on that?
Yeah. We can move on to the cereal thing.
Yeah, thank you. So I want you. Okay, let me give you some background, I guess, first, because you don't know what I'm about to say. Besides it's cereal related, let me pull up what I came across, and this is definitely like
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
More prominent. Well, that's part of it for sure. This is definitely like this is like a Nashville and Austin, Texas, like trendy city kind of thing. So I think you might relate to it. You may not have seen this exact thing, but I was in 12 South on Sunday. And 12 South, for those who don't know, 12 South is like the trendy touristy section of Nashville. You think about like Broadway. Broadway's like the party section. Like that's where everyone goes. Everyone's always going to be at Broadway. But then there's like this little subsection, like a mile or two south of downtown. And it's just this little strip of road called 12th South. Dude. Reason it's called that is because it's on the 12th Avenue and it's in the south part of 12th Avenue.
Well, let me put you on to...
Is that enough context?
Let me put you on to... Okay, so Broadway, Nashville, 6th Street, Austin, 12 South Nashville, South Congress Austin. The roads are the same function, different names, similar locations south of the city.
Yeah, and if you live in any other city, I'm sorry. If you've never been to either, if you're not familiar. And we don't have a huge contingent of Austin, Texas listeners, so I don't know why you brought that up.
I'm just giving context
that's
on
all
my
fine
side.
and good. Yeah, so yeah, you have now everyone who has been to those cities has context. If you haven't, it's just like a trendy, like a bunch of little shops. It used to be like local stuff, and then everyone started going there.
Now
So all
there's
the big
Lululemon.
all the Lululemon, Madewells, Reese Witherspoon stores of the world are coming in and are kind of taking over and driving real estate prices up and pushing the little man out as they tend to do. It's that part of town. They have there's murals painted onto the walls, and girls can girls and boys. Sorry, that was wow. I need to reflect after that one. I'm sorry. Give me 5.
2, 1. All right, you're back.
Okay, I'm really sorry about that. Anyone can take pictures in front of murals, but traditionally, from what I've seen, a lot of young women like to be in 12 South for the aesthetic that it offers. And there's food. All the food is now trendy, with the exception of Edley's. Edley's is not trendy food, but it's a Nashville staple. It's barbecue and it's good, and people go there for that. A lot of people go to 12 South. There's a big array.
Bro,
of
I think
people.
we get 12 South. I really do. I
people
really
get 12
think we
South.
get it.
But all that being said, this place doesn't. What I'm about to. This place that I discovered at 12 South does not make sense in any other place in the world besides places like this. It is a place called Wanna Spoon, WANNA Spoon, SPOON cereal bar.
Well, you're
Wanna
not
Spoon
going to
cereal
believe
bar.
this.
Is there one on South
No,
Congress or
but
whatever?
for your wedding, I went there.
Did you really?
I think this was for your wedding. Yeah, April 13th.
Well, I'm about to rip into this place, and I wanted to play a little game with you, but I feel like you might actually know some of these answers. But what this place is, let me just put you onto what it's a cereal bar, obviously, so it's just a bunch of cereals. Let me put you onto the cereals that they offer here: Apple Jacks, Captain Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cocoa Pebbles, Cocoa Puffs, Cookie Crisp, Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes, Fruity Pebbles, Golden Grams, Honey Nut Cheerios, Lucky Charms, Reese's Puff, and Trix. Those are the only cereals they offer. The most popular sugary cereals in the entire world. That's all they sell at this place. And it's just, you get to go, and you might be able to give more context to this, because I didn't really knew much about it until I looked up this stuff. Okay, can you tell me what you did? Did you go and get cereal at this place?
We saw it and we were curious, and we went in because they also had ice cream, and then I think we just went and got ice cream instead.
Yeah, which is good, because they sell ice cream, and that's all fine and good. I don't have any problem with them selling ice cream, and their ice cream is actually not like crazy price. I think it's a fair price for ice cream. But that's not like their big draw. Their big draw is that they're a cereal bar, which sells just basic cereal, like the most basic cereal in the entire world. I cannot stress that enough. You just heard all of them. It's like the A tier of like basic cereals. Do you want to take a guess? And apparently it's not unlimited. You don't get to like buy a bowl and you get to just like eat until you're content. You have to buy either a small, medium, or large bowl. And then you get milk. Milk is included.
Milk's
Whole
included.
or 2% is included.
Okay.
If you want almond or oat, it's $1.50 extra. So that gives you some context. A small bowl of cereal, a 12-ounce bowl of cereal, $5.50.
Yeah, it's crazy.
$5.50.
You could buy the entire box of cereal for that.
You could go to, I can tell you, there's a Publix half a mile away, and there's a Kroger 3/4 of a mile away. You could go to either of those, get the entire box, and milk. Milk is not that expensive. You can buy a gallon of milk for like $2. You could buy all that for less than the price of one small bowl of cereal. Is that not the craziest? That is like, I get surprised when I see places like these trendy places that are just like basic things that are packaged in like a ridiculous package, and that is what it is. This is like a level I've never seen it before, and I can't believe it's been in business since 2022. I cannot believe this place has made it 3 years. Who is in the most expensive leasing buildings in all of Nashville, essentially? Maybe Broadway's probably more expensive, but besides Broadway, you cannot find a more expensive place to own a business than in 12 South. And this company has been doing it for 3 years, and there's no sign of stopping here. Is that not the craziest thing you ever heard?
I also don't know how they get away with that. I know that's just Because it reminds me of like ice cream companies too. Like, yeah, some of them have their own flavors, but a lot of the time they're just kind of all the same thing, and then they charge like $8 for a cone. Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing?
and that is ridiculous too. And I think this place is guilty of it too, because they now that I'm looking into it, I said it was fine that they do ice cream the way they do, but their ice cream is $6 for a 4 ounce, and they only do like soft serve, like the normal
And why
swirl
don't they?
flavors.
Why they should at least have deep fried cereal or something, like liven up
There's
the brain.
yeah,
We
there is nothing special about this place.
we went to a pizza place yesterday, and it's new near a trendy bookstore in a nice little area, and it was you could buy a pizza for $28 or something, which was crazy, or it's $6 per slice, right? And this pizza was really good, but I don't understand how. I think I'm just complaining about prices at this point. I'm just realizing.
Dude, I think you're just talking about money. You're just talking about the economy. I would love to hear your take on the economy.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, tell me, bro.
It's good, but it's not that much better than like any like quote unquote fast food pizza of like Papa John's,
Sure.
the pizza chain that shall not be named because of FP,
Of course.
and then Domino's and Pizza Hut. Like those pizzas you can get for like $9 with a coupon, or you can get a Papa pairing for $6.99.
$6.99. You get two
medium
medium
pizzas and
a special bonus item. Yeah.
for the cost of like 5 slices at this place.
Yo.
And then we get a sweet tea, right? Let me put you on a sweet tea in Texas.
Put me on.
It's not good.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Okay.
There's something wrong with people in Texas where they drink sweet tea, and I'm sure you've had it because we still have tea like that in Tennessee where they bottle it, and it tastes. I don't even know what it tastes like. What's the brand though? What's a brand of sweet tea you can buy from the bottle? In
Milo's.
Publix maybe. Yeah, like Milo's. It tastes like Milo's, and Milo's is
Uh-huh.
the worst kind of sweet tea in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
And it tastes like that, and so.
But
What
it's
was I
just
gonna
like
say?
it's packaged into like a more like elegant form, but it's
It
not
was a
anything
glass
special.
bottle. It was a
Right.
glass bottle.
Yeah.
It was a glass bottle, and I don't even know how much it was, but it was too much. And then they were selling sparkling water, but then they just bring water to your table, but they wouldn't tell you they were going to do that. Can you believe that?
And then did they upcharge it? I guess it's not just like the standard water cost.
We didn't fall for that.
Okay.
But they did charge.
Oh,
you
they
for
were
the
going to
sparkling
try.
water.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. It's crazy. I'm getting to the point where and maybe it's just like a thing that you just encounter a lot in your 20s. And maybe it's always been like this. I'm tired of being upsold for just an experience that's not even that special if you really look into it. Like you gotta really, if you're a food company, if you're One a Spoon cereal bar, I'm not going to you just because you offer like colorful lights, but then you upcharge on basic cereal. You have to deliver like a unique, and maybe like they are delivering a unique product, but the unique product is not for me. I don't care about the experience. I want to experience like something special with your food. If you're a restaurant,
have you ever been to Uchiko? Uchiko? Have you been to Uchiko?
Never even heard of it.
It's a sushi restaurant, and I don't love sushi, but they have this dessert that's like ice cream cereal.
Come on, son.
And so it's like, it is like I forget what the actual cereal is made of, but it might be like deep fried cereal or whatever. And then it's like ice cream for the milk, and it's better than any cereal I've ever had, but somehow it's not as expensive as whatever, or maybe it is. Maybe it's just as expensive as that cereal place, but I'll tell you, you cannot find it at your local Publix or Kroger that's 0.7 miles away.
That's the thing. And that's the thing. If you're doing something special, that's fine. Like to go back to your pizza example, like there have been very few pizzas I've had in the world that have deserved to be worth more than like a general pizza. There's a few places I went to in New York that I was like, this is another level of this food. And so if they want to charge more money because they're in New York and they deliver a premium experience, great. That's fine. Like I don't want to pay more, but like if the whole world is now starting to upcharge me, and don't even get me started on let me turn into a boomer for a second. Don't even get me started on iPad tip culture. What is going on there?
My
It's
gosh.
it's so ridiculous. And I finally have done it. I have broken through the point where if you're just doing standard service that's always been a full paid job like service, and you're not like doing like the customization work that like comes with like jobs in the service, like a waiter in the service industry, I finally have broken through. I think I'm just done. I think I'm done with tipping. I can't do it anymore. You know,
Right, and you have always said that. You've always said, hey, you don't deserve a tip. You've been terrible. And you've always said that, even to waiters, when we eat out at restaurants, you always just said, hey, like, stop asking for a tip. And they didn't even ask for a tip, but you would just say to them, like, right up front, you'd say, your service was really good, but, like, I just don't want to tip you. And then I would always say, well, then, no, because then I would always say, I think we should maybe give them a tip. And then you would say, they don't really deserve it. I think they make enough as is, and I think I would say like it's like $2.25 for waiters, minimum wage. I worked a service job, you never have, and then you would say,
"Oh, I worked at Dunkin' Donuts for 4 days. How dare you?"
4 days, and then you didn't get tipped enough, so you left.
But no, it was before tip culture. We didn't even get tips back in the day. You wouldn't even get it.
I mean, yeah, you didn't because you probably didn't work there long enough to learn how it works.
Yeah, the only tip I ever give at restaurants is just work a little harder next time.
You seem like the kind of guy that would do the thing where you leave $5 bills on the edge of the table, and every time the waiter makes a mistake, you just take one away.
Yeah, and then every time they make a mistake, also, I spit on them. And I say,
yep,
get back in there and
I've
try
seen
again.
You do that too, and I've said, like, I just don't think it's necessary, and it's a bit unsanitary. They're bringing us.
Yeah, you always say it's gross. That's the thing you always do say. And I'm like, they can wash their hands.
That's true. They do.
They
have
got
access
soap
to
back
sinks
there. Yeah, exactly. So,
and then
that's just,
you also, another thing I just remembered you always say.
what else do I do, man?
You always say, no, and this is something that kind of is weird to me, but remember when we went to Longhorn Steakhouse?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a table to our right that was like a giant family.
Uh-huh.
One quick cut. Okay, we're back.
So, shout out Longhorn Steakhouse and shout out Jack's Beach for sure. Jacksonville Beach.
Sure.
That place rocks. Okay. Our debate for the week. Let's get into it. I know we're 37 minutes in, but my question for you.
We should just save it.
But it sounds like you're busy next week.
Bro, I'm literally not. I get
You
home
just have the one
Monday
thing?
morning.
No, I'm just
I
talking
get
about
home Monday morning.
Bro, what? Are you
I get home
leaving
Monday
town?
morning.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you're literally
I'm coming
leaving
to
town.
Tennessee,
I know,
man.
but what I mean by busy next week, I mean like it sounds like you're planning next week's episode.
Oh, bro, I just got one thing for your birthday.
Okay, well then we'll push this. We'll have a fun debate next week. Let's get into Q&A because we actually have 2 Q&A questions this week. If you want to be like our Q&A askers, one of these people just asked me in the DMs, in TikTok DMs, which is a way you can find us. You can find us on Instagram at Until We Agree or TikTok at Until We Agree. Or on this podcast you're listening to right now, leave a comment. Leave us 5 stars if you haven't. That would be great. Tell your friends about us too. That has nothing to do with Q&A, but we would love for you to do that. But then leave a comment on Spotify. You can do that now. That's a feature that's been rolled out for a year now. You can do it. Or you can go on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, and then leave a comment there, and we'll read it there. We have a YouTube channel. It gets views every single week. Leave a comment there. We check it. We check it quarterly. So if you leave one there, we'll get to you in 3 months. You can email us. People have been emailing us recently, mostly advertisements for different audio platforms, but some fans too. And yeah, let's get into Q&A. Graham, I think he's asked a Q&A question before, but he's back this week, and he's a well-known teacher in his area, and this is a big deal for him because he cares about the youth, the next generation. And so he asked me, he sent me a TikTok of another podcast doing this. And so I want to do it now for us. It was a rising 8th or a rising 9th grader. So going into their freshman year of high school, asking these podcasters for advice. And then he asks, could you guys do an advice for high school freshman episode of Before We Agree? And I know what you're thinking. Is that our name? Pretty much. It's basically there. But it was still a great question nonetheless. So Graham, thank you for asking. And now Tyler, I ask you.
Wait. I think I'm giving enough credit to Graham to know that he's saying that since we met before high school, this would be Before We Agree. This single special episode of Until We Agree would be called Before We Agree.
Yeah.
The pre-high school special.
Yeah. So think back to you're going into high school. Me and you have only barely crossed paths.
You're also just not reading this question correctly.
I don't want to do a full episode. I read the question. I don't want to do a full episode.
So your question is no. Your answer is no.
Oh, yeah. No. Next.
I'm happy to do one.
Yeah, but we're not going to. But you'd be happy to do it.
Okay. Well,
but maybe just give some advice now.
Okay. Pre-ninth grade, I want you to go first. You've had time to think about this. I'll go first. Or you go first.
Okay. You're right. I did have time to think about it. I really didn't think of much. The only thing that came to mind quickly was you gotta take Theater 1 freshman year, so you can meet your boy.
Yeah, if you don't know how to juggle by the end of your first year of high school, I would probably consider dropping out. You just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, getting homeschooled I think is your only course of action there, because something that you don't know about going into high school is juggling is one of the main social currencies you have.
It's juggling, and I would say juggling and being on the clown, and those go hand in hand. But
you had to explain what the clown is. No one knows what that is but us and maybe Graham.
So the clown, let me pitch onto the clown. The clown is
do.
when you juggle well in high school. This is every high school. We all know about this. I'm talking to an 8th grader because everybody else
high school
above
stuff,
the 8th grade knows this stuff.
Already knows about the clown.
You are going into high school, right? Big times. That's scary, right? Well, not for long, because there's a clown waiting for you to greet you. And once you learn how to juggle well enough, call it juggling competency clown. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
This clown greets you to write your name on a place on his body. So maybe the arms are for standard ball juggling. And so Matt and I, we were on the clown 6 times. Let's just put it like that. Because
easily, yeah.
you got standard ball juggling. You got ring juggling. That's what Matt was on the clown for.
Yep.
You got club juggling. I got on the clown for that.
Which was incredible. I was so impressed by you being able to do club juggling.
Bro, it was so much fun because our teacher said that we could pass fire by the end of the year, and we never did that. He lied to my face.
He was getting old, man.
That's another thing you should know is your teachers will lie to your face about the clown. But don't let that discourage you, because you want to be on the clown as many times as possible, because I'm sure that clown's somewhere in the closet right now, and it's littered with our names. Yeah. But yeah, that's 3 places on the clown, and then you also have passing balls, which we were able to do, passing rings, balls. Which you can do. There was 4 ball, which I don't think anybody we knew, could do.
Am I crazy? Was there also scarves? I feel like I got on for juggling scarves too, but you had to juggle 4, like scarves, like
no,
napkin,
I do know what you're talking about.
But you had to juggle 4 though.
The clown has endless possibilities. That's what I'll say. And so don't overlook that. When you're going about your studies, don't forget to consult the clown.
Yeah. And this is actually really good. I'm about to give real advice here for a second. You said something about how your teachers will lie to you. There's like a very interesting bell curve of how much teachers lie to you throughout your education career. Because when you first get into school, like in kindergarten, they lie to you a lot because you're a child and you don't understand things. So they lie to get you off their backs, basically.
Right.
And then they slowly start to lie to you less. But then middle school hits and hormones start flying and drama starts and all these different things. And people start to get really mean to each other. And teachers start to get really mean too, because they have to live with these
monsters.
Gremlins. Yeah. For hours at a time. And so I think lying probably peaks around 7th grade for teachers. And then it kind of drops off again into 8th grade. And then it goes up again going into freshman year of high school. And then by the time you finish high school, teachers are lying to you way less. But then you get to college and teachers don't lie to you at all. Is that not totally true?
They're too honest. In college, they're too honest. They tell you that your degree doesn't matter. They tell you that basically they're like, good luck finding a job, good luck with your 401k, it's going to be gone. You're never seeing Social Security, the world is burning. College teachers are all nihilists, but they're
like
nice.
Chill. Yeah, they hate everything, but they're also
you know what
chill.
there is about college though? There's no clown in the college.
There is
the only clown in college is you. We're telling you not to go to college.
Yeah. It's time to look in the mirror and realize the only place you can go from high school and make any money is in like deep water oil rig work or something like that.
Yes.
Learning something on the streets and then going and getting paid
Or
for it.
make those TikToks about deep water oil rig ones, the ones that the songs are like yo ho, oh that one.
Yeah,
and
that
then
one.
it's just like terrifying water flying onto the ship. Those kinds of TikToks do really well. And so those, I guess that would be our advice to rising ninth graders is don't forget the clown, don't forget deep water oil.
Deep water oil.
And most importantly, I think is, we're sending $5 billion to Israel.
Kim asks. Kim asks. I can't even say asks. Asks. Kim asks.
Bro,
What was that last
Kim
thing you
asks,
said?
what is keeping this from being a chair? Is it a chair already? Debate. What is that? Now, what does that mean?
Of course, dude. I didn't read this for a long time because I wanted to give you a chance to read our DMs on Instagram for the first time ever. It's a stool. She's talking about a stool, like
Is
a
it
wooden stool
intended to
that
be
teachers.
is it intended to be sat on?
Yeah, like a stool, like a backless stool, like a circle stool.
I'm gonna pull this up to get my eyes on this thing.
Yeah, it's an audio medium, but I think everyone who's ever gone outside or gone into a school, which I think most of us have, you know what a
I've seen
stool
it.
is. Yeah, like a light brown wooden
Yeah,
stool
yeah,
with
yeah,
like
yeah.
3 or 4 legs.
Now, light
and then
brown
a
is an
circle-
interesting. It's more of a. What'd you call it? It's more of a dark beige.
You could call it a dark beige. That's fine. Is that what you want?
Right, but it's
Okay.
almost like an unfinished wood color.
It is. So yeah, it's like an unfinished wood color. I think it's just clear coated unfinished wood.
And the question
Anyways.
is, what is keeping this from being a chair?
Is it a chair already? Debate. And normally we don't take commands, but we will always take commands from Kim because she's so loyal to
Debate.
us.
Well, I think this is the end of the episode, so if it doesn't turn into a debate, that's fine. I think we should tell what we honestly think. Is it a chair?
The answer is
'Cause Kim
obviously yes.
Yeah, I do too. Because Kim's asking what
Sick,
is
man.
keeping this from being a chair. And nothing's keeping it from being a chair because it is a chair. It's
a
intended
chair,
to be sat upon, and you can just do that as is. I would feel differently if it were a box, an IKEA box, and this were inside it in pieces. Because what's keeping it from being a chair would be your ability to build. And I've built stools that look similar to that. And so that one looks like it's already been built, unless I'm missing a screw somewhere. Maybe it's one of those that will just fall down because the screws aren't actually in there.
You're talking about you're talking about the chair of Theseus, right?
The chair of Theseus. But that's the real question: is at what point does it stop becoming the chair, and now it's what was once a chair and now is a new chair?
Exactly. That's a great question, but we can hash that out if we want to some other time. But I think Kim's getting caught up on the idea that a chair has to have a back, which just isn't true. I'm sitting in a chair right now that has a back. I'm not even using the back. Like,
Me neither.
It's
I've
still
got
functioning as
my
a chair.
posture. My posture's too good.
Yeah. And does
And
that
should
mean
the chair
I'm
be punished for that?
Exactly. I think no. I think we've agreed. This is until we agree. I agree.
And also, I think we should really get semantic about it and look up the definition of a stool.
Okay. And while you're doing that, let's talk
Because it's
about
just a seat without a back or arms. Or a piece of feces.
And sure, true. And I would say a seat is a chair. And if a chair is a seat and a seat is a chair, that's great. Let's think about this for a second. That CEO was with the head of HR at a Coldplay concert, though.
Now, real quick, a seat would be defined as a thing made or used for sitting on, such as a chair or a stool.
They probably should
Now,
have
this
sat down next to each other and
differentiates.
not been touching because they knew that the camera was on the crowd at that exact moment. What did they think was going to happen? The camera was panning through the crowd, and they didn't think for 1 second. This guy runs a company.
Even worse than that, the song, it's called the Jumbotron song that they do.
Yeah.
It's literally about putting couples on the Jumbotron.
Yeah. There was no secret at all. There was
And
no
so
secret
they
that someone
thought-
was going to be on camera.
Right, and they thought the best time to be cuddled up on camera, or the best time to be cuddled up is when they're looking for cuddled up couples on camera.
Right. But then they also don't want to be caught because, again, he's a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, and then she is a recently hired head of HR. Also married to a CEO.
She's not the head of HR. She was the chief people officer. But there
That
you go,
seems
discounting women's
okay, I've only ever heard her. I haven't done enough research. I've only heard her be called the head of HR. If she's the chief people officer,
it seems
great.
like you got his role just right, though.
Because everyone calls him the CEO. I'm only going off of what the populace is saying about it.
Interesting. So you're just more concerned with getting his story right.
That is how it's spelled. So this has been Until We Agree. Tyler and I agree on everything that's been said in the last 5 minutes, and we thank you for listening. As Hutch always says, thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Post cred.
The raccoon just came out of nowhere.
I didn't hear what you said, but it sounded funny, man.
The raccoon. The red 40.
The red 40. No, not the red 40 again. Do an impression of someone from Happy Gilmore 2 for us really quick.
What's up? My name's Eminem.
Okay, but do Eminem if he was RFK Jr. in Happy Gilmore 2. All right, that seems like enough.
That was Rap God as RFK Jr.
That was sick, man. All right, we'll see you guys.